the other day, I was having this grief pain, so I know what you're talking about. And I had asked God earlier, and I had it over a loss of a family member. And I'd asked God, you know what? Just let me see what I can't see. You know, take control of me. I'm talking to him with words out loud. Take control of me, you know. I said to him, I believe that you can do it because you made me. So why don't you just do it? Because if it's going to be done, you're going to have to do it. I can't do it. I can't make myself do it. I cannot do it. So why don't you just do it? Are you letting me suffer like this for a reason? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I have been told never to ask God why you're suffering. You ever been told that? Maybe that's an old country thing. And then, so, I don't know, maybe I was at work or somewhere, and I was having this mental and emotional pain, mental and body pain in me, right? And so I asked God, just let me see what's going on. And in a glance, he caused me to realize that the pain that I was having in my body was not me. That's not real. It's not me. It's all ego. The thoughts and pain that I was having, when you have that grief in your body, it's not you. It's all ego. And the moment he showed me that, all of it left. It just vanished. The moment he showed me that. And I think, wow, that was not even me feeling the pain. Because it was in my physical body and working my mind, you know, like 90 going north, it felt like me. And it had me in darkness. And the more it drags you down, the painful it becomes, because it brings fear and everything else. It gives you an illusion of the past and of the future. But he caused me to realize that that pain that I was having was not me. He just wiped it away, and I'm like, wow. And I'm thinking, that's God. I just saw God. I saw him, and he didn't look nothing like what I had been told he looked like. And I can't even describe what he looked like now. I'm just telling you, I saw clearly the pain left, and I realized it wasn't me. That it was, even in that grief, it was ego pain, and I had identified with the mental aspect of it and the pain of it. I was totally identifying with it as though it was me. And it's not me. The real me don't feel that kind of pain at all. The real me is not jealous and envious and worried and of fear and doubt. The real me is just a living being with no opinion about anything. It's just living. But this thing that come and present itself as me is nothing but hell. It is not you. That pain you felt, the stuff you were thinking, was not you. But you identify with it because it's in the body. It's in your mind. It's in your head. And it's in the body. And it feels like it's you. It's not you. And all week I've been just kind of shaking my head. Wow. Because now I can think about this lost family member and feel nothing about it. But every time I was thinking about it before, it would be grief pain. Isn't that something? It would just be hurting. But he wiped that away, and now I know if that kind of stuff should come back, it's not me. I don't have to identify with it anymore. There is, in me, in who we are, there is no feeling of it. It's just it's like you're just living, really, without thought and without feelings and without all this stuff. You're just a living being unfolding in life. So I know now that it's not me. Isn't that nice? And I have been suffering through that for a few days, and it's like, wow. But he just took it away. And now I know the pain that I felt was not me. The thoughts that I had about it were not my thoughts. And I'm free from that. Now that's God. Yes, ma'am.
Especially in the holidays, the thought would come of my husband.
Okay, a little louder for me.
The thought would come of my husband.
Yes.
My ex-husband. And like if I still yearn for him and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, because I heard something, and He said that you were in love with a memory that you weren't,
Yes.
with that.
That's
and
right.
then I knew that right away because when I see him, I don't want nothing to do with him, I mean, he don't attract me at all.
I
But
know.
it's just that,
It's
that
an illusion.
memory that he put there to say of how I earn and how it could be and all of that.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's not you. Even in prayer, the reason that some of you, when you come out of prayer, you start to doubt right away, you got to realize when you're sitting still and praying, Satan is sending his little demons there to agitate you and talk to you too and make you doubt. Because the worst thing that can happen to him is for you to commit to prayer. Prayer and observation is the worst thing that can happen. And so when you submit to prayer, Satan got his little angel things coming there talking to you, telling you your prayers are not working. You're not doing it long enough. You're not seeing the light. You're not this. And you still believe that. You're believing it, and that's why you get up thinking your prayers are not working. You're not going to feel them working. You're not going to taste them working, but they will guide you. You will see that they are working. But you got to realize Satan is still talking to you about it because he doesn't want you to enter into that still world where God can take over. Those thoughts are not your thought. Your thoughts. They're not yours. They're from the devil. They're not real. He's still messing with your mind. And if you are identified with the physical, the mind and body, you're going to miss it. Because you're still trying to associate everything based on what you think and how you feel about it. And that's what he does. He deceives you and tell you that nothing is working. I know people who are sat and they were able to see just like that. And then they feel really good about it for a few days. And those little demons tell them your prayers are not working. Look, you don't have the same feeling anymore. And they stop praying. Because they want that same high or whatever it is that they get. And everything's based on that. Isn't that amazing? You got to get away from that. Here's how you build this solid foundation. And I want you to do it this year. I urge you to do it. First of all, you got to pray. You must submit to prayer. It has to become the first and foremost thing in your life. You must submit to prayer. That communication with the Father is crucial. It's a matter of life and death, the communication with the Father. And secondly, you've got to have faith. You've got to have faith. In Luke 17:6, it says that the power of faith, the apostle said to the Lord, increase our faith. And the Lord replied, if you had faith like a mustard seed, you could say to that mulberry bush or tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it would obey you. If you had a little bit of faith and put that with your prayer, anything you want, anything you say shall be done. All God requires is just a little bit, a small little mustard seed of faith. That's all you need. Put that with your prayer, you'll be all right. And then you build that solid foundation. And I'm not going to read this, but in Mark 9:23, it says that all things, just imagine this, all things are possible for those who believe. All things are possible. And if possibilities are not happening in your life, it's because you don't have faith and you're not committed to prayer. And when you pray, that foundation that you're building is here. It's deep rooted in the soul of your belly. And when you pray, you got to practice being aware that going deep into into the soul of your belly, where the Holy Spirit is located and everything. And it will, in going deeply into it, you're building a solid foundation. You really are. You could sit there all night long and do a little pantsy-antsy prayer, like, oh, prayer. You got to practice going deep in. The kingdom of heaven is inside of us, and you got to go deeply in to build on that foundation. It will happen, I'm telling you. It's in us. He's here, not here. And I recommend that you get serious about your prayer, commit to it, pray day and night. God said that we should pray without ceasing. So that means that at some point, we should get to the point where during the day, while working, while playing, while sitting around, we should have a prayer mentality, a consciousness of prayer. You shouldn't be lost in the darkness of your imagination. But if you submit to prayer and have a little faith, you will grow into that. When I first started out praying, sitting still and praying, I wasn't aware of the deepness that I had to go within myself. But he's taken me there. He's causing me to grow. And when you're there, anything that, and it's amazing too, anything that comes along, people trying to destroy you or talking about you, you lose money or friendship or family ship or whatever kind of ship, you find yourself not overreacting to it. And you're like surprised. Like, wow, this used to be so important to me. But you got to go deep within and you got to practice doing it. I hear a lot of Christians say, well, I don't want to practice doing anything because it feels like I'm putting my will into it. No. You would know if you're putting your will. You got to get serious about your prayer. If you're going to halfway pray, some days pray, didn't feel like it this morning because of whatever, then you waste it. Don't do it. It's best to just leave it alone and stop pretending. But if you submit to prayer this year and have a little bit of faith, you'll be fine. That make sense? Yeah. Did that help a little bit? Yes. Any questions about that? One day I was sitting and praying, and I had read about this too, but I had not practiced it, you know. So one day I was sitting and praying and just sitting there still, and all of a sudden it just occurred to me, I need to go really in here and just face whatever's there. And I went in, and it was something else. It just something happened, and it just made me more solid. And it looked like I confronted something. You know, I often say, and I've heard others say, confront your fears, go toward them and feel them. That happened, but it just something else took place when that happened. And so now I naturally go in, you know, because once you go in, you see how to do it, and you just naturally start doing it once God allows you to go in. But that's what happened. And just let yourself breathe. Don't control your breath, but be aware of in here. Because some people, what they do, and I found this out too, that they heard somebody say, well, when you pray, just watch the light in your head. So that's all they do now. 50 years going by, they still watching the light in their heads. You know, they have not grown into anything else. There's spirituality, being a living being is about growing. You grow, you're unfolding, and you're just living, and you're just growing. But you got to put this first. So go deep within just by being aware of this area in here. The Holy Spirit is in the soul of the belly. So that's where you want to go to. And then during the day, slightly be aware of that without pressure. Just be aware. I'm telling you, things will change. And you can build that solid foundation. And then you start to get away from the lies and feelings that are not you. It's all ego. It's all a lie. It is not you. But the more you identify with that pain, the greater it gets. You got to do this. The other stuff is not working. You thought you knew it, now you don't. Don't listen to anything that is in your head. It's all lies. It really is. You want to have faith, a little bit of faith. You want to pray and observe. Watch. Pray and watch. Thank you for tuning in, folks, and thank you all for coming. Happy New Year again.